designers, it's Karen of Customs, and today I'm doing a review of my latest bridal gown creation. It's not a tutorial, but I'm going to be talking you through and showing you photos of all the steps from pattern drafting all the way to finishing touches on how I created this gown. So if you want pointers on how to create something like this, stay tuned. But before you do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend that might be interested in my content. Thank you.
The top of the dress features an illusion mesh base with over 1,000 hand-beaded rhinestones and white glass beads. Underneath is a satin corset with bra cups and boning and a power mesh slit from waist to just below the knee. The bottom is a satin lining. The outer fabric is satin with a tulle overlay and hand-sewn lace appliques. The back of the dress also features illusion mesh at the top. All the lace you see here was cut from a 5-yard cut of lace and hand-sewn on piece by piece. The silhouette of the dress is a mermaid style, slightly flared. The train of the dress is a half circle of 2 layers of tulle, and the border of the lace fabric was also sewn on by hand. The train was attached to the completed dress starting just below the zipper. There are no visible stitches, just several lace appliques to secure it along the sides, and it's secured at the bottom of the sides of the dress by the large triangular appliques. The back of the dress has a zipper up the waist and then 23 satin buttons and loops. So let's talk about pattern pieces. This first piece is what I use for the front top. The entire piece is what I cut out for the mesh on the fold, of course. You can see that I have a side dart and a waist dart to help the fabric curve around the bust. Remember, the side dart is to help fabric curve around the length of your bust, and the waist dart is to help reduce the width of the pattern piece at the bust to match the waist. The round line I drew is to notate which part of the mesh would be covered by white satin. Which brings me to the next pattern piece. After cutting out my mesh, I cut the pattern to remove the shoulder along that rounded line I drew so I could have a pattern for my satin that was going to cover the bust. It's the exact same pattern, just without the shoulders. I used this to cut out the satin overlay and top stitched it to the mesh. This pattern piece was for my corset with built-in bra. I created this by laying the bra cup down on paper and tracing around it. To the left, you can see a slanted line. That was the center opening to give the bride more cleavage. I ended up having to take in the sides a bit, so there was a little bit too much space on this pattern piece between the cup and the side. The top of the pattern is armpit level. The bottom of the pattern is waist level. Here, you can see I created the corset with 2 layers of satin and sandwiched the boning in between. I enclosed the raw edges where the cups would go with fold over elastic for a clean finish. I then top stitched the bra cups down to the corset and assembled my outer layer of illusion mesh and satin. You can see I pinned down the satin so the raw edges would be hidden inside the gown. My next step was to lay my assembled layers of illusion mesh and satin on top of the corset and sew them together along the side seams and waist seams so they would form one structured piece. Notice before I did this, I sewed my side and waist darts so the illusion mesh and satin layer would match the dimensions of the corset. This is how the dress looked after it was assembled. You can see the back skirt piece has darts since the fabric wasn't very stretchy. I used an invisible zipper for the skirt and then sewed button loops on the side of the back top piece and 23 satin buttons on the other side. So then I was done with the dress, but that's not even half the job because then you have to sew the lace on. And more lace, and more lace. And then when I was finally done hand sewing on all the lace, it was time to start hand sewing rhinestones and glass beads. If you want to see that process, I will leave the video link in the description box below. In the next couple of clips, I'm going to talk about how I sewed the train to the dress. And then this right here is just a few snippets of me hand sewing lace to the train and what it ended up looking like for the end result. So my circle skirt, or what I'm calling a circle skirt, is really just a half circle. And it's this shape right here. So that's what I cut out for the tulle to begin with. This triangular flame looking stuff, this is my lace that I was sewing on. And it was all one long strip because it was the border of the lace that I had left. So this was all attached. When I laid it down on my tulle, I kind of curved it inwards. So this space over here, I ended up cutting off. So this is how I laid it out on my circle, because when I put it up to my dress, I realized it needed to come in a little bit to be able to lay where it needed to lay once it was connected to the dress. And then this dot right here is where I connected it to the dress, right under the zipper. Okay, so then when I say it's not attached, I mean I sewed it to the dress here, and then I sewed it to the dress from here to here. And then all this space in there was not sewn down, but I added this patch of lace so that this part could be sewn down and this part could be sewn down. However, this little area right here is not sewn down to the dress. This is like the train, and that's the dress. Train and dress, those are not attached, but it's attached here because I have a piece of lace. Not attached, attached, not attached, attached from here to the floor. And that was because I was scared that if I sewed the tulle to the dress that there would be like ugly like stitches visible. So that's how I made this dress. I hope this video was helpful to you and that you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Please be sure to like, comment, share this video with a friend who may be interested in my content, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell and change it from personalized to all so you get notified every time I upload a video. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.